Welcome back to the Cossy channel. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal have been very busy in the last 24 hours, and Fabrizio Romano has given us two. Here we go. The first one was for Christian Nogard, who was signed from Brentford for 15 million euros. That's 9.3 million pounds. He is an Arsenal player, and the player has been given his permissions to go and do medicals. He will be flying into London very soon from his holiday. That is a done deal. Done and dusted. We got the second here. We go for Kepa Arrizabalaga. This is also done. Yesterday, Arsenal activated the release clause of Kepa from Chelsea, and the player is also given permission to do his medicals and join Arsenal this summer. We're going to be talking about those two deals, but most importantly today, Fabrizio is saying that Arsenal are now going to sign Benjamin Šeško. They're not advancing. They're not deliberating. They're not deciding. They're going to finish the Benjamin Šeško deal. Now, Fabrizio obviously yesterday pointed to the fact that Šeško was now following Arsenal. I don't know when Fabrizio started looking at players like Šeško and saying when they follow Arsenal, this is going to be the sign that Arsenal are going to sign them. I don't know when did that start, but Fabrizio confirmed yesterday that Arsenal are going to be landing the signing of Benjamin Šeško. Still today, this morning, Sami Makpo is also reporting that Anthony Gordon is a big target for Arsenal. Yes, they like Rodrigo. Yes, they like a couple of other players like Anton Semenyo, Brand Wemo, and a few others like Kudus. But Anthony Gordon is a big target for Mikel Arteta, and a deal could be done if Newcastle are willing to sell and Arsenal are willing to cough up the cash. A deal could actually be done. And we're also getting reports that this summer it could be 8 signings. Arsenal have done 3 so far, but a couple of sources are saying it could be 8 signings for Arsenal, with players like Lucien Agume still on the radar of Arsenal, despite the fact that we have signed Christian Nogard from Brentford. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well as the making moves. I am absolutely in the mood for this. Let's get into it. After signing Christian Nogard yesterday, obviously, I gave you the whole details of this story. A total agreement between Brentford and Arsenal was reached for 15 million euros, 9.5 million pounds. It's done deal. Christian Nogard will be flying into his medicals either this week, of course today is Thursday, so either he's flying in today or tomorrow, or we might actually get to see him on Monday, do his medicals, and he will be confirmed as an Arsenal player. But that is going to be Arsenal's third signing of the summer. Right after the announcement of Christian Nogard, Arsenal also got another, here we go, from Fabrizio Romano. So yesterday, according to Fabrizio, Arsenal activated the release clause in Kepa's contract at Chelsea, which is 5 million. We also finished everything in terms of agreement with Kepa Arrizabalaga. He becomes another Arsenal signing within 24 hours. It's done, it is dusted. Kepa will be flying to Arsenal in order to do his medicals, complete his move to Arsenal, and it makes it the third signing of this summer. So these are the 3 signings Arsenal have done so far. Martin Zubimendi coming in from Real Sociedad for 66 million euros. Kepa coming in from Chelsea for 5 million pounds. That's around 6 or 7 million euros. And then Christian Nogard signing from Brentford, 10 million pounds plus 5 in add-ons. That is confirmed right there. So those are the deals Arsenal have done. I want your thoughts. I want your opinions. What do you think about our transfer summer so far? Of course, we have not done the big deals yet. We have not done the important work yet. And we're going to be talking about the important work according to Fabrizio. But where are you so far? Are you okay? Are you happy that Arsenal have done something? And are you happy that now things are actually moving, right? Because even if we don't start with the bigger signings, even if we start with the small signings and then eventually grow into, grow into the bigger players in the market, it doesn't matter. For me, what matters, can Arsenal get deals done? And I'm seeing Arsenal are getting deals done. Now, Fabrizio Romano, after the signing of Kepa and Christian Nogard, he says that Arsenal are now going to progress onto the next signing. They're just, Andrea Barca is just, completing one after the other, right? We talked about June. and we talked about May, Andre Bata laid the foundation and trying to talk to different players and trying to understand the different conditions for different deals. Well, it is paying off because now Arsenal are advancing to sign Benjamin Šeško. Yesterday, it was Victor Gyökeres. All signs were pointing to Victor Gyökeres. But Fabrizio made a very, very cheeky tweet yesterday. And this is unlike of Fabrizio Romano. Maybe it's typical of Fabrizio, honestly, because he's one of those guys that report about every single detail that happens within a transfer move. But yesterday, Fabrizio said, here is another hint that Benjamin Šeško is going to Arsenal. The player has started following the club. Now, that tweet caused a lot of mayhem yesterday. Obviously, there was all this excitement of Arsenal signing 2 players in one day, right? And then Arsenal getting to 3 signings, right? And then you have Fabrizio amidst all that confirming that Benjamin Šeško is Arsenal's next deal. Benjamin Šeško is Arsenal's next signing. The excitement was palpable. The fallout was palpable. It was catastrophic. And I've decided to do this video in the morning just to try and bring a bit of calm or a calmer voice to what we saw yesterday. And this is what I want to say, right? First and foremost, Benjamin Šeško is okay and free to follow Arsenal or to unfollow Arsenal. Of course, we understand that. But the timing is also very crucial. I don't think that Fabrizio tweeted about Šeško following Arsenal on Instagram by coincidence. I think this is the agent of the player leaking the move to Fabrizio and all these other journalists, right? Of course, you're not going to get such an update from David Ornstein. You're not going to get such an update from Sami Makpo, and you're not going to get such an update from any of these, other guys. But it means something. Fabrizio tweeted it. It means something. And the way what he said on that tweet, he said, here is another hint that Šeško is going to Arsenal, right? So it's Šeško then, guys. It is Šeško. And all this waiting that we have been doing and all this, hanging in there that we have actually been doing has been to allow Arsenal drive the price on Benjamin Šeško even lower. Because according to Isaac Khan, Mikel Arteta wants his striker before pre-season. And if he wants his striker before pre-season, that is about 23 days, right? That's about 23 or 24 days. So in 23 days, if we're going to do Šeško, that is even easier to do for Andre Bata. Because yes, maybe RB Leipzig wants 80 million euros, but you can drive that down to 75 million euros. Maybe Benjamin Šeško wants a release clause in his contract. You can convince him otherwise. In 23 days, Arsenal will have a new striker. And I'm convinced, and I'm very, very convinced, this deal is going to happen. Not the Šeško deal. I'm convinced that in 23 days, the center-forward deal is going to happen. Now, are we going to see a bit of change in the mechanisms and the plumbing in the background? It's very possible. It's very, very possible. We might see, again, Andre Bata try to force maybe RB Leipzig or try to force Benjamin Šeško and his agent to bow down and go down a little bit more. But I think Arsenal will get their man. I think Arsenal will get their centre forward. I think we will get our new centre forward. And it might be Šeško because according to Fabrizio, Arsenal will sign Šeško. So let's wait right there and see. On the left winger situation, this one is going to drag on for quite some time, isn't it? Because Sami Makpo has just reported from the BBC, obviously, these days, right? From the Daily Mail to the BBC guy. Sami Makpo has just reported that the interest from Arsenal in Anthony Gordon is real, right? And Sami Makpo is one of those guys. Sami Makpo was the first on the Zubimendi deal. I don't want you to ever forget that. He was the first on the Zubimendi deal. And now he says that Gordon to Arsenal, the interest is real. obviously, this deal depends on so many strings. Do Newcastle want to sell? Does Anthony Gordon want to go to Arsenal? Is he waiting for Liverpool? Is the price doable? Is the wages of the players doable? And all that. But I think this summer, just like David Onsen said, this summer Arsenal are not messing about. They're not messing about. Actually, also Joshua said it yesterday, that you look at how Arsenal responded when they understood that the John Garcia deal is not going to go in their favor, quickly moved on to Kepa. They understood that Thomas Partey could be leaving, quickly signed Christian Ogard. So Nico Williams was never going to block Arsenal's chances of signing a left winger. Rodrigo is not going to block Arsenal's chances of signing a left winger. We know that there is a million targets that Arsenal are looking at in that regard. We have Adam Lukman, Mohamed Kudus, Rodrigo Goes, Anthony Gordon, Karo Mitoma, Anton Semenyo. The list is endless, right? But I think the two priority targets are Rodrigo Goes, who could be a difficult deal, either financially, 90 million euros, or just in terms of getting the details sorted out for such a deal. I can see Arsenal being pushed towards an Anthony Gordon-like signing. Because with Anthony Gordon, let's say we signed Benjamin Šeško for 75 million euros. If Newcastle, in any world, I'm just saying, in any world, if Newcastle open up their minds and they can sell Gordon for 75 million euros, I think that's a deal Arsenal can do. Because 75 million euros, that's about 59 million pounds. Is that 59 million pounds? Or maybe 62 million pounds, right? 62 million pounds, that is the same price for Benjamin Šeško. That's 125 million pounds that you have spent on a left winger and a centre forward. And you've replaced Thomas Partey and you have signed Martin Zubimendi. I think that's a good transfer window. I think that's a good deal. And I've said before, I know many people are saying, Gordon. I like Gordon. I like a player that is athletic. I like a player that is hardworking. I like a player that has got that work ethic. I like a player that is Premier League proven. I like a player that creates chances and scores a lot of goals, and he already knows the league. I think next season is going to be quite interesting because we have seen Arsenal add a couple of cogs to the machine, and we had one of the best seasons, 22-23. We might see Arsenal add new players, and this team becomes dangerous and unstoppable. And Gordon is one of the players that have got the ability to make this Arsenal team dangerous and unstoppable. I like the sound of Anthony Gordon. I like the sound of Arsenal going for such a player because he was really underrated at Everton, and all of us were literally saying why Anthony Gordon is overrated. But he's better than Garnacho. He's better than Marcus Rashford. I've seen Arsenal linked with Garnacho and I'm like, do not dare piss me off. Like Garnacho, the most wasteful player in the Premier League. Do not dare. Marcus Rashford. You know, if I would take Marcus Rashford as the Raheem Sterling, honestly. Not that he is as bad as Raheem Sterling, but I'm just saying that you look at our system, you look at what Marcus Rashford wants to do, I would take Rashford every single day over Garnacho. I'm sorry. I would. Now, some sources are saying that Arsenal, with this kind of signings that we are doing and the rate at which we're doing deals, Arsenal could actually do 7 to 8 deals by the end of this summer. 7 to 8 deals. Can it be done? Can we do we need 7 to 8 signings? Maybe. I think it depends on departures, really. This is what I think. If Arsenal, we have signed 3 already, right? Kepa, Nogard, and Zubimendi. So the goalkeeper is done, and the midfield is done as well. If Arsenal sign 2 more defenders, that takes the signing toll to 5, right? And if we sign 2 attackers, maybe a left winger and a striker, that takes it to 7. So there is a world, and I'm surprised I'm saying this, but there is a world where Arsenal could sign 8 players this summer. And I think we talked about it in May. Was it May? When was I remember saying, I can see a world where Arsenal sign about 7 players in the summer. And it's happening. It's happening with our eyes open, because there is a possibility that Arsenal send out Tommy Setford, their Šeško goalkeeper, on loan. Karl Hein leaves, and Arsenal sign another goalkeeper. That is signing number 4. And then we sign Derahato, signing number 5. And then there is a market opportunity in midfield, maybe attacking midfield, you have a market opportunity, and Fabio Vieira leaves, signing number 7. And then you sign a centre forward, signing number 8, right? So there is a world where Arsenal could sign 8 players, and we are not even talking about the massive market opportunities that could happen at the club in the coming summer. Arsenal are absolutely cooking.